Doctor Who Season 2, Episode 6, titled The Interstellar Song Contest. Now, this episode, I found it to be a very surprising episode. Because this is the episode I wasn't really looking forward to. Not like I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing a Eurovision episode. But it just wasn't like the thing I was looking forward to the most. You know what I mean? It was like, I get it. You did Bridgerton last season. Go do Eurovision. Okay. Just in time before the finale. My guess it's let's have some fun before shit hits the fan. And I won't lie, I finished watching the episode with all those big reveals, which I will talk about. And I did record my reaction to it, so you will see those. But I was having fun with it. I was having fun with the well-being aspect of things, because it would make sense that there would be in the future a Interstellar Song Contest. That Eurovision as a concept wouldn't just be restricted to countries around the world. It would be a whole galaxy, and have the whole galaxy coming by and be there for this song contest. That planets are now the countries that singer is representing, or that sports team that singer is representing. Tongue tied there. But this, and I was like, yeah, it makes sense, all well-being sense of it. And I really enjoy, the songs are quite catchy. There was one I went, okay, if this thing was a real life thing, that would drive me insane. Where I think Belinda the Doctor was like doing their thing, getting into the panels and stuff. The one that looked like had the banana boat puppet in there, I was like, oh god, if that would be the one song that would drive me insane. I'd be like, when does it end? When does it end? This feels torturous. This feels torturous. But the other two, like the one that happens when everybody gets sucked out of the stadium, or out of the studio, out of the stage, whatever you want to call it, that was pretty well done, and the song at the very end was really, really good as well. Which hopefully they release those on Spotify, and you can listen to those songs, because I think those are pretty well put together. But the story itself is pretty much Die Hard. The idea of like angry teens. It's a bunch of angry 20-year-olds seeking out revenge, and they want to basically get rid of everyone who's involved in the Interstellar Song Contest. And that is including the 3 trillion people out there. And because of spoilers, but it makes total sense why they are angry. I like how this episode, as crazy as the concept of this episode is, as bonkers as the Doctor is in space and he's getting back to the station by using a gas gun as like a rocket launcher. Like, even though that is happening in the episode, they're able to have layers into this. They're able to have layers in this episode, and showing the relationship between also the Doctor and Belinda, with them two being separated. How much these two characters mean for each other, because Belinda believes the Doctor's dead, and the Doctor believes Belinda's dead because they're separated in the episode, and how they kind of care for each other, how much how also Belinda feels, because the TARDIS is also gone, how scared she is because she is unable to get home, or she wants to go, even though she's had gone on these amazing adventures. She still, her goal is, I just want to go home. 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 And it's just a beautiful, it feels there's layers in there, including our villain. There's layers of it. I mean, sure, like I felt Sita angry. I was angry at our villain. Basically killing 1,000 people. 1,000 people just died. Our agenda outside of a protest of some sort, which is technically is a protest, because I try not to hit spoilers why, but there's you understand it. You understand the layers of it and the angle of it. It doesn't excuse it, because in my head I'm thinking there has to be like a future version of Twitter out there. Why not just do that? Why punish people who may not even know about why you're doing what you're doing? You know, it's 3 trillion people. Not everyone knows the thing that you are angry about. I'm trying to once again keep vague. But this episode also gives you something that makes you, that I think will be polarizing for some people. And that is, so we see the Doctor getting angry. He is absolutely furious in this episode. And I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to spoil this, because it's a big thing that happens, and it's worth talking about, plus the spoilers. But the big reveals, but the big thing is the Doctor is so angry, so out of, like, fear. He's so furious to the point of being scary. He falls to the point he forgets who he is, and he goes out and tortures our guy, tortures our villain. At the beginning, I thought it was like, okay, like, making sure, like, he doesn't make sure our villain doesn't whip up the gun, whip out his gun, and all kind of stuff. I get that. But then, when the Doctor just keeps continuing, shocking our guy, you know, basically electrocuting him with little shocks, I'm like, the Doctor's full on torturing this guy. And I'm thinking, this is a side of this character. And maybe it's a way to show, hey, this Doctor can get dark. This is a dark Doctor. This Doctor has, like, we've seen this Doctor so out through the, you know, since the giggle, when 15 got introduced, we've seen this happy and likey, he's full energy Doctor, and it's like, what happens if it got tears down? Like, we saw, like, I don't know, we saw him being stern in Lucky Day, but we never see him, like, full on furious at people, and knowing that he kind of crossed that line way too far. It shows, it does, look, there's a certain rumor out there about, at the end of Reality War, that we are going to meet 16, who's willing to be played by a certain person. But it makes sense. It feels like that. The Doctor has been pushed to his limits, and maybe it's a sign for him to say, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to go. Maybe. Because you don't do something like that. You don't have our main character torturing a guy without consequences. Even if, like, the reasoning he did it, like, why he got triggered to go as far as it did, does not give him the reason to do it. That reminds him of Gallifrey, and what happened, and how he's the last of the Time Lords. It does not give him this juice. And I hopefully in Westworld and Reality War that we do see repercussions of that, because fucking hell, like, if seeing and I felt scared for Belinda seeing him like that. It was scary for us. Let's talk about spoilers, shall we? Because this episode has 2 massive spoilers. She came back. One day, I shall come back, and she came back. Wait. Holy! That's Susan. Susan? That's... Wait, what? What? A.K.A. Susan. Susan is for all those people who just know the Arrival. Susan is one of the original Doctor Who companion. She's basically the OG because she is the Doctor's granddaughter. Plus, she was also the first one to leave the TARDIS in was it Dalek Invasion on Earth, and it has this amazing emotional moment.
I want you to belong somewhere, to have roots of your own. With David, you'll be able to find those roots and live normally like any woman should do. Believe me, my dear, your future lies with David, and not with a silly old buffer like me. One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
But it was like, come on, let's round the circle. Let's see the reuniting, and knowing that she's a Time Lord now, it doesn't have to be Carrie Ford. It can be some other actress or whoever. But seeing Carrie Ford, who is Susan way back, she's probably the only living actors out there who from those OG Doctor Who days. Coming back as Susan, just for those little flashes saying, grandfather, help, find me. When the Doctor's torturing that guy, saying stop. It's hinting that Susan's back. This is the official Susan is back. But it'll be interesting what that entails. Does that equals, hey, this is what the Doctor remembers, and now we're gonna meet someone new? Is it like what is it be? What could because it clearly you don't wink wink Susan. You don't go showcasing Susan without a full on conclusion. You don't tease the audience like that. So in the next few episodes she's back. I think by the end of Which World, which is next week, she is back. If it is carrying her forward or someone else, it's her. I have a big reaction with that moment. Now the other one is the Wani.
Unfortunately,
the Wani?
Our name is the Rani.
Fucking hell.
Although she's become a Rani.
Anyone.
I the Rani.
The big reveal is who Mrs. Flood is. And Mrs. Flood turns out to be the Wani. When was the last time people saw the Wani? Now, I haven't I'm still, after 2 fucking years, still in the final season of the Third Doctor. So, the Wani is basically his female master. She was Missy before Missy showed up. So, when it came to the Wani, I think she last appeared in a 7 Doctor story. I think she was in the first ever 7 Doctor story. The Doctor generated and here's the Wani, So that's a big reveal. That's a classic Doctor Who villain that they haven't used yet. It was kind of it's surprising they haven't used them yet. I'm surprised that Moffat or Chibnall, after RTD left Doctor Who the first time, and they thought, hey, let's bring back the Wani. For some reason they never, it was one of those villains that I think everybody was quite surprised it hasn't shown up yet. If you want to reintroduce them for a new audience, but clearly the Wani's going to be the big villain. Clearly, it's that. Clearly, the rumors have been kind of spot on recently. Once again, you never know. 16 might be around the corner. But, yeah. But anyway, comment below what you thought of this episode.